I'm ready to talk about what's going on because the Meltdown has been 2016 level of glorious.
It's been hilarious and a lot of fun just watching everyone freak out on Twitter for, the past couple days, and it's just been great.
It feels like an even playing field. So it's like, I don't care if there are people on there that hate me or disagree with me. It just feels like now I can come back at them and not have to worry about the bullshit of like I might get suspended or whatever. And that's not to say that it's not going to happen at some point, but it just feels that way. If you are not aware, which I'm pretty sure the entire world is, but Elon Musk has now officially purchased Twitter for $44 billion. And I'm sure there's a long process about when he's actually going to actually take control of it. I don't think that Elon has any direct impact. It's the indirect impact of that. This whole thing has been really, really good to watch the meltdown. So Ripa, what's your take on all this?
To me, the only thing that's valuable from it is the fact that the right people are pissed off it. You know what I mean? Like I've said many, many times, it was never for me about giving a shit whether people trusted or not trusted Elon. It's the fact that so many people have now told on themselves and also have seen themselves out because the whole fun with Twitter for this group of people was the fact that they existed on a platform where they control the narrative through various means of what they call moderation, which is not actually that. It's more just suppression of a particular side. And it really ramped up in the last few years, whether it be with the vaccine stuff, but election and all of that, in which bizarre kind of take where Twitter would actually intervene with that sort of stuff when they historically had never done that. So for them to know how powerful that was for them and that to come under threat makes them so terrified that they would ever share a fucking platform with people that they deem as their political enemies, in which would the playing field will be largely even in some case. That's what they're fucking afraid of. Because Twitter of old, I mean, that's all it was. I mean, Twitter was the Wild West back in the gap, man. I mean, you can find, this is why so many people get in trouble with their old tweets that are still up, because that was normal. Like you could say that word that rhymes with maggot and all that. Elon has everything to gain to actually follow through with this, especially financially, mainly because you're seeing what you see right now, which everybody follower counts going up because you're having a rush. People are coming back on the platform, but the right people are mad. The right people are mad, and that to me is the hilarious thing about it all. We'll see what happens if he continues to follow through, but I think just the threat of him having lax moderation on their platform is enough to make these guys fucking just go crazy and tell on themselves.
The copium is off the charts right now, and people are just losing it. And I don't know what type of world that you have to live in where you're scared of someone you don't like having an opinion, but we've seen it so much. I don't want the people that hate me to not be on Twitter. I want you to be on Twitter.
I said that today. I said, even the people that most vehemently disagree with me, I want you to have a platform because it makes it that much easier for me to make fun of you. Like, that's the bottom line. And you expose yourselves. I want all these people out there saying this stupid shit. I want that to happen. And when you are so adverse to the most normie definition of free speech you could possibly have, essentially speech that isn't illegal, and it causes this type of meltdown, it's because they're going to lose their echo chamber. It's because they're going to lose their ability to control the narrative on one platform. That's all that's going. They still have,
which is still a relatively small platform. Which is still a, comparatively speaking.
They still have Facebook. They still have Google. They still have all this other stuff. It's this one thing that's causing this much pushback and this much freak out. And it's going to get worse. Like with the amount of L's that they've taken over the past couple weeks in terms of with Disney, with Jay mentioned, well, I think Elon maybe mentioned it with the Netflix drop, like all this stuff that's coinciding one after another, CNN Plus, they're probably going to start to get very fearful, which means the attacks will only get more outlandish and more obtrusive in our everyday lives.
The thing that's important is this is the first time in a decade, one of the tech gods who actually got cut. And that's the point, is that when that happens, people finally get to wake up and see they're not indestructible.
This is one of the most ridiculous things. Like the fact that they don't have the self-awareness to understand that they're admitting everything that was a problem for Twitter in the past. This is so funny.
You own all of Twitter or Facebook or what have you. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't even have to be transparent. You could secretly ban one party's candidate or all of its candidates, all of its nominees. Or you could just secretly turn down the reach of their stuff and turn up the reach of something else. And the rest of us might not even find out about it till after the election. Elon Musk says this is all to help people because he is just a free speech, philosophically clear, open-minded helper.
This guy's so fucking stupid because if you've listened to Elon, not only is he talking about lack of censorship and more freedom of speech, he's also very specifically right after that said, I believe that it's important for Twitter to have trust, not only in reality, but in impressions. So he wants to open source it. He wants to show everybody what they're doing. So that wouldn't even be a factor. But this motherfucker's describing what just happened in our last election cycle.
I know.